you get that drink.
Welcome back to the Queen's Yanks channel. It is time for our weekly Queen's Brûlant show, aka the Canadian Premier League prediction show. So through 14 games so far, I have only outright picked 2 wrong, and both revolving around the same team as last week. I picked the Wild Rose Derby wrong. What are we doing here? And in the 5 games this week, FC Edmonton plays 2 of them. Will I continue picking them and getting it right or wrong finally? Well, let's find out. So our first game of the week happens today on 10-5. We have Valor at home against Cavalry. To my knowledge, Valor has never beaten Cavalry. And even though they're the home team here, and even though Cavalry has kind of came off a little bit streaky lately, I still think they pulled this one off, maybe 2-0. So that said, we're going to go on to tomorrow's games on 10-6, which we've got HFX and Forge. This is going to be a nice little matchup because Halifax is at home, and Morelli has been absolutely on a tear. That said, Forge does have the best defense in the league. I do think, as I've said on a few other shows here, I do think Forge might be the best team in the Canadian Premier League. I think they're doing the right things at the right time, and unfortunately, I think they might be heading for another title, but that's a conversation for another day. Either way, I think Forge does pull this one out. I think Henry may even get another clean sheet, although it's going to be hard. I think this one we might be looking at a 2-0, maybe 1-0 game here. So then we're going to go on to FC Edmonton and Pacific. So I've gotten the previous FC Edmonton games wrong the past 2 weeks, but however, I think this might be the game that they win. Just kidding. Pacific FC is going to absolutely beat them, and I hope it's 4-0 at this point for me picking wrong 2 games in a row, although Alan Koch is still my favorite manager in the league. So much so that this is my Queen's Brûlant lock of the week. Pacific FC, I don't think is going to have much trouble with them, despite the fact that they're playing on the road. So we're going to go on to 10-8, which we have York United at home against Atletico. York is still on a 7-game unbeaten run. They have a player by the name of Michael Petruso, who used to play for QPR, who, last I looked, is either leading the league or tied for the league in assists. And I think he's going to keep that up today or during this game. And I think they are going to pull off a game, maybe 2-1 against Atletico. And don't underestimate Atletico moving forward. They've looked like a completely rejuvenated team now that Becky's back, and they've got some injuries, and they've obviously still got Shaw. I don't think they're going to be necessarily a powerhouse moving forward, but I do think they're going to be a thorn in people's sides and potentially the role of spoiler moving forward. Either way, I think there's a decently solid squad, to be honest with you. So then we're going to move to 10-9, in which we have the return of the Wild Rose Derby, which I picked wrong last time, which we've got Cavalry and FC Edmonton, of course. Look, this has been a one-sided derby. In the 10 matchups in the Canadian Premier League, Cavalry has won 8 of them, and they have drawn on 2 of them, and they even had a matchup in the Canadian Championship in which Cavalry won. And Cavalry has actually outscored them 17-6 during this time. Although I picked FC Edmonton last time, there's no way I can pick them until they actually show that they can win again. So I've got Cavalry winning this game. Last time was a high-scoring game. I think it's still going to be a high-scoring game. I think we might be on the lookout for maybe a 3-1 game this time. So there are my picks this upcoming week. What do you think I got right? What do you think I got wrong? What's going to be a player to look for this week? And do you see any upsets happening? So that said, thank you all so much for coming back. Look forward to doing it next week, because next week's look like it's pretty much full of games. And that said, hope everybody has had an amazing weekend. Everybody stay safe this week, and thanks again, guys.